Hey guys, Backyard Farmer Pat here. Guys, if you are anything like me, your chickens are probably laying way more eggs than you could ever possibly eat. And I've been giving away eggs. I've been giving eggs to all my friends that come by. I've been giving eggs to my neighbors. But guys, the whole idea about growing your own food and having your own chickens is that you can have eggs when you need them. So guys, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to preserve your eggs, how to keep them fresh like they were just laid up to 18 months. And so for some people, they make it stretch to up to 2 years. So we're going to do this using only 3 ingredients, and one of them is eggs. So guys, let's get started. We're going to be water glassing our eggs. So I know you guys know how prices have been rising with our food. And for that reason, I'm now beginning to preserve more instead of just giving stuff away. So guys, in today's video, we need 3 ingredients. We're gonna have our fresh, clean eggs. We're gonna have our pickling lime, and we're gonna have fresh, clean water. So for the water, the regular tap water is usually chlorinated or fluoridated. Is that a word? Fluoridated? Fluoride? I'm not sure what the word is, but the regular tap water normally has chlorine at least. So to get rid of the chlorine, you can just pour the water out like I did here, and wait for a couple hours for the chlorine to evaporate, or you can use filtered water from your fridge, or you can use bottled distilled water. But just make sure you have pure clean water. So what the main ingredient that's going to keep it fresh is pickling lime. For this one, I'm using Mrs. Wages. You can get this at Walmart. I think online at Walmart, or you can get it on Amazon. Can't remember the cost. It doesn't cost a lot. I just bought one pound bag. So guys, this cannot be any simpler. The ratio of pickling lime to water is 1 ounce of pickling lime to 1 quart of water. So for a quart is actually equivalent to 4 cups. So this here is a 2 cup little jug. So I filled it up twice, and I filled it up to the line that says 16 ounces. That's 2 cups. So 2 of this makes 1 quart, and I poured it out into here. So guys, for to water glass your limes, I mean your your eggs. First of all, I want to explain something. This technique works only for freshly laid eggs. It does not work for store-bought eggs. And the reason is, with your freshly laid eggs, when the chicken lays the egg, like about, I think with the last stage of laying an egg or for the egg forming, the chicken sprays this like protein on the egg, and that's actually what gives it a color. The protein is called bloom, and the bloom is what seals the egg and protects it from any bacteria or any germs getting into the egg during the birth process, right? So for the water glassing method, because it has that bloom on it, that's what protects. It's gonna protect the egg from any germs, any dirt getting in, and that's also gonna help the pickling lime. It's gonna work with the bloom to seal the egg and seal the freshness. I did a lot of research on this. I watched several other people's videos. A year later, 18 months later, cracking the egg, it was just as fresh as when it was just done. With the store-bought egg, that's already gone through the washing process. That's a lot of time they also wash it, not just wash it with hot water, but they also wash it with like chlorine to get rid of any germs. And then they seal it with, sometimes they seal it with like a mineral oil to seal it in. But all that bloom has already been gone. So then the eggshell is porous. So if it's a store-bought egg and the eggshell is porous, when you put it in the pickling lime, of course that's going to get into the egg, and that's going to ruin the egg. So it's very, very important. The first step is unwashed, freshly laid eggs. Also, What I did was I've already gone through and I've separated the eggs that had any mud or like poop on it, because sometimes, especially now in the rainy season, if you don't get the eggs in time, by the time you get there, it has poop stuck on it or mud stuck on it. Like for instance, you see, these are some eggs I put to the side. See, it has a little spot. I don't know what that is, a little spot on it. And I also have some that I harvested last night that they were covered in mud and had some poop on it because it was like so rainy. You know, what helps with that too is if you change your hay or your bedding in the coop very often so that the eggs stay clean. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, and what you're gonna need is a jar. So a clean mason jar. This is a clean mason jar or any glass jar that you can have sealed. This has a really good tight seal on it. I just bought this on Amazon, but you can also buy this like at Walmart. This is a 1 gallon mason jar. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through, check my eggs. You're gonna check to make sure that there's no cracks. Because of course, guys, if it has any little cracks, any little tears, any little holes, any little cracks, it's gonna cause problems. You're gonna get a pickling lime in there. So what I'm gonna do first, some people do it different ways. Some people put the lime in there and then they fill it in. I'm gonna put the eggs in first and then go ahead and backfill with the lime, pour the lime in. So let's go ahead and fill our eggs in, and then we're gonna mix our lime in our quart of water. We're probably gonna need to do that a few times, but I have a little bowl here, so I'm just gonna do 1 ounce to 1 quart of water at a time. We're gonna fill this up and then we'll see how it looks. And 34. Let's see if we can get 2 more in to make it 36. Making sure no cracks. Nice and clean. All right, guys, so we have 36 in this jar. So now let's go ahead and mix our pickling lime. So I have a little food scale here. I put a little container. This is where I'm gonna measure my 1 ounce and make sure it goes to 0. And then you can put the pickling lime on to make sure you get exactly 1 ounce. I'm gonna use the exact same recipe. When I looked online, every person who did this method used pickling lime. So I mean, use 1 ounce to 1 quart of water. So this is 1 teaspoon. Okay, that's 0.4. All right, we'll get a little bit more. Oh, there we go. It's 1 ounce. So that's exactly 1 ounce of pickling lime, and this is exactly 1 quart of water. So let's put this in, and we're gonna stir it around and add that, and we're gonna repeat the process till the pickling lime covers the eggs. Just gonna make sure the pickling lime is completely dissolved. Then we're gonna pour it on top of our eggs and continue. Yep, it's pretty much dissolved. Yep. All right, so we're gonna pour our first batch of pickling lime onto our eggs. All right. All right, so let's do this again. 1 ounce pickling lime to 1 quart of water. Scale is back at 0. Repeat the process. Again, it took like 3 level tablespoons to make 1 ounce. So I'm gonna add it here. Add my quart of clean water. I'm gonna use filtered water because I don't wanna sit here and wait for the chlorine to evaporate. So I'm gonna go ahead and use filtered water here. And again, I'm stirring it to make sure that it's completely dissolved, then we're gonna go ahead and pour it on our eggs. I think this last batch I think will be good, will be enough. Okay, a couple eggs are sticking out. Think I can just add a couple of ounces of water on the very top. I don't think I need to add any more lime since it's literally to the very top. So I'm just gonna go ahead. There's actually a little lime settled in here. So I'm just gonna add a couple of ounces of water and add this to the top. And there you have it. It's completely submerged. So now I'm gonna seal this jar. Then I'm gonna put it in a cool storage somewhere, maybe in one of my cupboards. So until we're ready for this. Okay, so guys, I know you're asking the most important question. What are these eggs gonna taste like when we crack them open? Are these gonna taste like lime? Guys, the answer is no. This method of preserving the egg literally keeps the egg in the exact same state as it was when the chicken first laid it. Meaning you're gonna see the perfect yolk in the middle, and it's gonna taste the exact same as when the chicken just laid it. So this keeps it in the perfectly preserved state. I actually prefer this method to other methods of like freezing the eggs, because freezing the eggs does change the texture of the egg, and of course dehydrating it also does change the texture and the shape. The only thing to note about these eggs, because they're now perfectly sealed and the shell is now non-porous, if you take these eggs out and boil them, the egg it's gonna cause the egg to explode. The only way to boil these eggs after you've preserved it in this way is to put a little pinhole in the eggshell so that when it boils, it won't explode. Otherwise, use your non-preserved eggs to boil, and these eggs, if you're making scrambled eggs or if you just want a sunny side up egg, this is going to be perfectly preserved like when your girls just laid it. I know I said it, put a couple notes in the video, but I just want to say it again. Be sure that you do not wash your eggs before using this method. You want to protect that bloom, so just use clean eggs that were freshly laid and unwashed. And don't forget to put your date. Don't forget to put the date, guys. So after you've filled one jar completely, put the date, and so you know exactly when you did it. You can see the pickling lime settled to the bottom. That is 100% normal. These eggs are now completely safe, completely preserved, and these will last at least 18 months. Some people go 12 months, some people go 24 months. So I'm going to say 18 months. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably get another jar too, so I can have a good storage of eggs. Of course, use eggs as they come along, but I'm going to start storing my eggs. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope this made you see how easy it is to store your eggs. It's always great to share. Of course, it's always great to enjoy what you have. But guys, we need to also be ready to store and make sure that our family has for the future. Exactly 3 dozen eggs are in here. So this is a 1 gallon jar, 3 dozen eggs. So you guys know how many chickens you have and how many eggs you need to store. One thing I didn't mention is chickens lay less eggs during the winter time. So for those of you that are up north, when it gets very cold, they lay less eggs. So it's always good to store your eggs so you don't have to be buying eggs in the winter, or store them for the future. All right, guys, till next time. Bye now.